This video is going to lead you through the writing of your pedal power design report. And so this is similar to your Mobot project, except that it's much more complicated, more complex analysis. And so we're going to have some additional sections. In your Mobot project, you were given specifications and you actually built the Mobot controller and tested it. In this project, you're not going to build your digger and you're not going to test it. What you are going to do is you're going to have to do your own needs analysis and come up with your own specifications. So we have a few different sections here. Instead of just one design, you're going to generate multiple designs and then choose one and do a final design analysis of it. Your final report structure will look something like this. Let me walk you through it. So first, there's the introduction. The introduction is your problem statement. Then you're going to go into your needs analysis, identifying the stakeholders, identifying the main needs for each stakeholder, for these stakeholders, and turning that into a set of specifications and metrics. And these should be clearly labeled. Remember, the goal of designing the overall report format is to help people quickly skim and find the desired information. So if someone wants to be like, wait, what were the specifications? They should be able to find this really quickly. Then you're going to consider multiple different designs. You should have an overview stating we considered 3 different designs and say what they are. Then go into each design. So, name the first one, include your sketches and a small discussion of it. Name the next one, sketches, a discussion of it. And then end on the design that you choose. And you can do more than 3. This one you should spend the most time on because it's the one you chose. And so you should really explain. You should justify why you chose it and include your CAD model. And these probably would go underneath the final design. So it's really clear that all of this goes together. Then you're going to do your analysis of the final design and your conclusion. In addition, your report is going to have an executive summary. An executive summary is a report in miniature. It could be read instead of the full report. It is usually on its own separate page, and it's written for executives. It is just like an abstract in a traditional scientific report, but it's longer. It's usually more fleshed out. So when I say it's a report in miniature, what I mean is if your report has these main sections, your executive summary should have these main sections. It should have the same information, the same key points as the main report. It is okay if some of the sentences repeat. It is very repetitive because an executive summary it's written for a non-engineer in order to help them make a decision. So the critical thinking here is in selecting the most important information that a non-engineer, that someone who is going to take action and say, yes, let's build it, let's do it, the main information that they need in order to act. And so for this project, the most important information is the design that you chose and why you chose it. So let's look at a sample executive summary. This one is for designing material for an internal combustion engine. And so the first paragraph describes the problem. It is the introduction. And we go through and we explain why the problem is important, what the current status quo is, because remember, for your outside reader, for your non-engineer, it's really important to understand the problem. The clearer your definition of the problem is, the easier it is for people to understand everything that comes after. So we say what the current is, and then what we're trying to do, what needs to be improved on it. Then we go through the process. And so here, 10 different materials were screened. You'll probably say 3 different designs were considered. And then say what design you chose in the next paragraph. And be really specific about why you chose that. So on this one, they chose titanium alloy, and it's really clear. It had the lowest mass and the highest fracture toughness. Now, in this one, they go a little bit farther, and they have some results here. So they can say this % reduction in mass and this amount of increase in cost. So very specific, but this has all of the information that someone who's in charge has to make their decision. So that is the goal of your executive summary. Because this is a report in miniature, it makes sense to wait and write this last. So you can think of this as the high-level overview of the most important information. And then an executive might jump to a particular section in your report in order to read more, about your specifications. Maybe they want to look at the designs that you rejected in that case. And that's why it's important to make the layout of your report with all the detail easy for somebody to jump in and say, I just want to read this particular section, and to make it easy for them to find that section. Now, throughout this report, you're going to have lots of figures and tables. Every figure and table should be clearly numbered and captioned. Here's another example of a figure. Each figure is numbered and it has a caption. You also refer to every figure in the text where you explain it in a little bit more detail. Don't worry about having captions that are too long. Include as much detail as you need. Ideally, someone should be able to look at your figures and be able to really get the main points, the main details from the caption. So this caption is 2 sentences. That is fine. You also, with any tables are numbered separately from figures, and all tables have a caption that explain what they are. So when I say numbered separately, you're going to have a figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, table 1, table 2, table 3. Also note, for tables, the captions go above the table, whereas for figures, the captions go below the figure. That's just the convention. Now, this is a lot of detail, having to number, to caption, to place things correctly, to have all the section headings. But you all are training to be engineers. You are supposed to be detail-oriented. You are supposed to be able to follow instruction. If you mess up on simple details like these, you create a credibility problem. Can people really trust you if you can't be thorough enough to number everything, to put all the information in the right places? Can people really trust you to do the equations correctly? And to consider all of the other detail that you need to do as an engineer. So as you are doing these reports, you need to really show people that they can trust you by demonstrating that you can be exact, precise, and detail-oriented.